This is Accurate TV News.
Painful send-off. More than a month after her murder, the Thanksgiving service for 8-year-old Danielle Rowe was marred yesterday by chaos brought on by a family dispute that denied her a dignified send-off. The funeral, which took place at the Portmore Seventh-day Adventist Church in St. Catherine, erupted into disorder. Soon after, members of Danielle's family began leaving the building as her father, Norval Rowe, was speaking. The elder Rowe, who is a police corporal, was listed on the program to read the morning's first scripture from 1 Corinthians 15, verses 50 to 58. While he spoke, Danielle's mother, Sudane Mason, was the first to exit the church. As the service progressed, many other family members and close friends proceeded to remove themselves from the church pews, leaving the Reverend Francis West, who was delivering the morning sermon. The relatives objected to the order of the service and claimed that they had been excluded. The aggravated family members protested that elements of the funeral program, such as the withdrawal of some activities to be undertaken by some family members, went against their wishes. It's not about them, it's about family. The mother never asked for that program. Them reprogrammed everything. The opening prayer supposed to be my mother. They put JCF, Jamaica Constabulary Force. Why? What they got to do with anything? One family member questioned. Perceived gov takeover. Yvette Thomas, Danielle's grand-aunt, was at the center of the commotion that ensued because she was outraged by what she perceived to be a government takeover, though there was no evidence of such. No politics. She, Danielle, nah go down in a no politics. We no want them speak, she shouted in anger, encouraging the other family members to end the funeral proceedings earlier than scheduled. Them out of order fi take me off of the program and put people where we don't know, she continued. Attendee Caroline Smith, a former dancer and dancehall queen, persistently pleaded with the family to get along and go back inside the church. Listen, no man, come together, all of you. Get the mommy, get everybody, it's your service. Just do it properly, Smith urged. Following the funeral, the Ministry of Education and Youth sought to counter claims made by Danielle's relatives, who insisted that the government was involved in amending aspects of the funeral program. In a statement, the ministry said that the government was not involved in the planning of the funeral and that Favour Williams had attended in her capacity as a education minister and gave remarks. No other persons from the government was engaged in the funeral, the statement read. Among those present at the service were Williams and a team of her ministry, Corporal Rohan James, chairman of the Jamaica Police Federation, Iselin Golden, Custos Rotularum of St. Catherine, Fitz Jackson, Member of the Parliament, MP for St. Catherine Southern, Leon Thomas, Mayor of Portmore, Commanding Officer for St. Catherine South, Superintendent Christopher Phillips, and other JCF personnel. Before Danielle's father read from the Bible, he thought back to the last time he had seen his angel, which was on May 16, the day she turned 8. This is not a good day, he declared, referring to the fact that he had to bury his daughter, who he characterized as being the most loving and compassionate person he knew, and that she was not deserving of such a gruesome death, abducted outside of school. Young Danielle was abducted on June 8 from outside of the school gates of Brayton Primary and Infant School, which is located in St. Catherine South Police Division, in which her father works. She had been left for dead with her throat slashed when she was found along Roosevelt Avenue in St. Andrew later in the day. She was subsequently transported to the Bustamante Hospital for Children, where she succumbed to her injuries 2 days later. Her horrific death has since sparked outrage island-wide and has led to several protests, with persons calling for a resumption of the death penalty for her killer. The latest protest was on Friday when her family and friends took to the streets bearing white placards smeared with red paint and marched at the intersection of Arthur Wint Drive and Roosevelt Avenue, close to where she was found. The autopsy that was conducted at the House of Tranquility Funeral Home on June 19 revealed that Danielle died from incised wound to the neck. The police revealed that it is believed that Danielle knew her killer. They also released a sketch developed using an electronic facial identification technique of a female of interest in the case. There has been a whole lot of speculations, a whole lot of rumors. Some absolutely disgusting statements have been made, the elder Rowe said. He continued by saying that his daughter, who desired to be a veterinarian, would constantly check on him to ensure that he was okay and to show her affection. Meanwhile, Danielle's mother was inconsolable throughout the service, and at the burial site, her screams of grief and despair being well bellowed from her frail frame were her heart-wrenching sight to behold, as she could not keep herself together and fainted repeatedly. She and other relatives were dressed in blue, as this was Danielle's favorite color. Williams said in her remarks that many Jamaicans felt range of emotions in response to the heinous act against Danielle, including anger and hurt. She added that this was made worse by the fact that the investigations have not yet determined who ought to be held accountable, such as Williams encouraged the congregation to honor Danielle's memory by cherishing lives and spreading love. Let us be kinder to one another, more patient and more compassionate. That's what we need right now, she said. The minister also emphasized that Danielle was a child of much promise and potential, a daughter, a classmate, and a Jamaican who was described by her teachers as reserved, soft-spoken, and well-behaved. She was among the top students at her institution, placing 3rd overall and 1st among the girls in final exams. I asked, is there no one who saw anything that could help the police in their investigations? I appeal for anyone with information to step forward, as the attacker or attackers must be brought to justice, Williams said.